Hello and welcome back to episode 7 of the Combat Club. My name is Mike Owens and today I have the pleasure of being joined by Marc-Andre Barriault, ahead of his return fight at UFC Edmonton. Marc-Andre, always a pleasure, my man. How are things with you today?
Thank you. It's always good to talk to you guys.
How are your emotions ahead of your return and specifically your I know you fought in January in Canada but fighting again in your home country.
It's always good to be back home, especially because for the last like 4 years I moved to the US to Florida. So every time I have the chance to, come back, either it's for training, to see the family or for fighting, it's always, a good feeling. So yeah, I cannot wait.
I check your record before we jumped on. If memory serves, your first two fights in the UFC were also in Canada. I think this will be your fifth, if not sixth, appearance in Canada. So you've been one of those fighters that has been quite lucky throughout your UFC run to kind of consistently fight in your home country.
Yeah, yeah. So I made my UFC debut in Ottawa, so it's very close to my hometown,
Mm,
Gatineau in Quebec. And after that, I did my second fight in Edmonton, actually. So that's
mm.
gonna be the second time I'm gonna fight in the same arena, same city. And yeah, so I'm super stoked. It's always good to have the energy of the Canadian crowd, and I'm super, grateful for that.
I speak to a lot of fighters, and some fighters say when I'm in the cage, the home advantage doesn't really matter to me. I'm so focused on my opponent. Other fighters say to me, it lifts me so much, and it has such an effect on my performance and my kind of how represent myself in the cage. Where on that spectrum, or where on that line do you stand? Are you somebody who feels the roar of the home crowd, or are you so focused on your opponent that it doesn't really register?
Yeah, so I mean, at this point right now, after almost 15 UFC fights,
Mm,
I can say that I've been there, done that, almost everything.
mm.
Um, fighting in front of my hometown, fighting in the big pay-per-view cards. So I can say that for me right now, I try to take every fight like it's almost like my last fight.
Mm.
So I want to stay focused on the task. Don't let myself be distracted by the crowd, the media, the ranking. It doesn't matter at this point. Nothing is guaranteed, and I just want to, do my best, make sure to have a good performance, and just move forward.
I've never had the pleasure of visiting Canada, hopefully one day, but what I'm told is you're some of the nicest people in the world. So as much as your fans will be supporting you, will your opponent be seen as an enemy? Will we hear the Canadian version of No Vamo here? Is there an equivalent, or are you guys just so nice that you don't disrespect the opposition?
No, I feel like uh, maybe for hockey, because
Mm,
hockey is so good, super big. It's in Canada, so sometimes the fans are a little bit like crazy for hockey. But for mixed martial arts and combat sports, I think there's a lot of respect from the coming from the fans. And yeah, no, I don't think they're gonna like boo my opponent. I think
mm,
that's gonna be respectful from my side and from my people.
100%.
We'll be back to the video in just a second, but first, I gotta remind you the NFL season is in full swing, and Inside Fighting has partnered up with DraftKings, an official partner of the NFL, to bring you an amazing offer. And right now, if you go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, new customers who bet $5 will receive $200 in bonus bets just by using promo code Inside Fighting.
100%. Let's talk about your opponent, Dustin Stoltzfus, who you'll be matched up against next week. Give me your scouting report and potential strengths of his and potential areas that you're looking to exploit.
Yeah, so at this point of our career, I feel like we are at the same spot. We've been fighting for a couple of years now. Ups and downs, a couple of good performance, couple of losses. So I feel like he's gonna be like hungry, like just like me. To bounce back. He's a very good fighter. I think he's a complete fighter like myself. Good jiu-jitsu. I think he likes to, take the back, work his submission game. But yeah, for this fight, I'm planning to be the power bar. Be relentless pressure. Make sure to be the first. To go forward. and just do my thing, make it dirty, and make sure that everything is on point, and don't think too much. Just do.
I know that you will obviously have a game plan and you'll be working with your coaches and your team to formalize some kind of game plan. But when I watch your fights, I guess the question I want to know is the game plan in some ways the same, which is to be your style with the heavy pressure and kind of drag your opponent into that kind of heavy pressure fight? Is that kind of always the game plan to an extent?
100%. When I'm thinking too much about the game plan, or everything that can happen, or what I'm gonna do, it's when I get lost. So it's good to have like a guideline, but I'm so much like an instinct fighter. Like it's almost like it's from the nature. Like when I smell the fear or the danger, it's where the power bar just, I flip the switch, and now I fight. I like to fight. For sure, it's a sport. We have to win the rounds, win the fight, try to win every battle. But yeah, I think for me, the more the fight goes, the more I'm getting dangerous, and that's why I have a good cardio, and I'm planning to be like the best version of myself.
I think you mentioned earlier spending, obviously moving to Florida, and I know that you do your camps down in Killcliff. Who have been the main guys that you've been training for this fight, and the guys that have been mimicking your opponent?
Yeah, so being in a big gym, it's good because we have a big ecosystem, of fighters, of training partners. So throughout the years, I've been training with a lot of good guys, especially the middleweights, because we have a lot of middleweights guys like Brendan Allen, Gregory Rodriguez, even one of my fellow Canadian fighter from PFL, Bellator, Aaron Jeffrey. So yeah, I feel like I have like every style possible to getting ready for a fight with this team, and also just the team spirit, having like different coaches. But when I come back home here in Canada with my old team, my mentor Pat, it's always like I never left. Like he knows me so much, so good, and we just like fine tuning the last things, and then we're ready to go.
When you look at your opponent, I mean this next question with respect to him, but I think when he's been defeated in the UFC, all but one of those defeats have come by stoppage. Most recently against Bruno Ferreira back in May, I think that was. When you look at this matchup, do you look at it as one where you feel like the finish? How likely do you feel like the finish is in this one? Is that something that you plan to hunt for, or do you look at this and go, stick to my game plan? If the finish comes, then great, but I won't try for it too much. Let's say.
Exactly that. When I try too much is when it won't happen. So I just want to, just make sure that I trust all my tools. I know that I don't want to leave in the judges, even though if I'm on, in Canadian card, there's nothing guaranteed, and I don't want to, be stressed at the end of the fight and have a bad decision. So yeah, I'm planning to finish the fight if I can, but I don't want to force anything. Like just come natural, and this is where I'm at my best. So I feel like just beat the power bar and do my things and have fun and fight hard.
I think what you alluded to there in terms of the judging was the fight in January against Chris Curtis. Now, obviously, the last couple of fights haven't gone your way, specifically most recently against Joe Pyfer back in June. How do you reflect on your fights in 2024, and what were the kind of key lessons that you could take from both fights?
Yeah, so just like I said before, when I'm thinking too much about the ranking or the fighters, like okay, so he's dangerous, he's a big guy, or he's a top 15 or whatever. It's where I just put so much or too much energy and focus on those things instead of on my side. So yeah, so right now I'm just taking this fight like there's no tomorrow. I know he's gonna come with like I said, he's gonna be hungry. He needs to bounce back just like me. I want to win. I want a new contract. I want to keep moving forward. So yeah, the last two fights, unfortunately, the last one, I got caught very early in the fight. But yeah, I've been battle tested before. I know how to bounce back. I've been in this position like when my back is against the wall. So this is where I'm the most dangerous. So I'm planning to just do my things and coming on top.
Do you feel any extra pressure going into this last fight with how the last couple of with how the last couple have gone?
Like I said, I've been in the same spot
Mm.
like 2 years ago when I was on the last fight of my contract, coming from 2 losses. So I just want to take this energy and just to like put all in. It's a gamble. Every time it's a gamble. Even though you're in a big win streak, you're like on your way up. There's nothing guaranteed. You can just come back down so quickly. So I just want to make sure that I don't think too much. I don't want to be like okay, if I lose, maybe I'm gonna get cut or whatever. I just want to enjoy the moment and just like it's my last fight and just perform good.
So I feel like in asking you this next question, I may already have the answer, but I'm going to ask it nonetheless, which is, past the victory next Saturday night, is there anything else you're looking to get out of the fight? I.e., is there something that you're looking to show or something that you want to get out of the experience of fighting at UFC Edmonton, past just getting a W next to your name?
So the main goal is to get a W, but just to show how resilient I am, like before, like everybody know, like with my ups and downs in my career, I've been like able to show like when you want something very bad, you can have it. So I just want to inspire people. Like there's no easy way up, to the top. I just want to leave my own mark as Marc-Andre. So I want to be myself, and when my time is gonna be done, I'm gonna move forward and do whatever the life brings to me. But for now, in Canada, I just want to make sure that I carry my country the best way possible, and be humble and fight hard.
Before we finish, I have to get your thoughts on a fantastic fight at middleweight on Saturday night between Robert Whittaker and Khamzat Chimaev. There's so many questions that will hopefully get some answered on Saturday night. Just from your perspective as a guy in that division, how do you see this fight playing out, and what do you think are the keys to victory for each man?
So Robert is one of my favorite fighter. Period. Like I like his style. I like how he carry himself. I like, he's been battle tested before, former champ. He always bounce back from adversity. So so I think like it's a matchup where like if Robert can just be aware and like get out of the early danger, I think that's gonna be his fight. The longer the fight goes. So, but we have to be careful with Khamzat because he's such a crazy guy. He's going forward all the time, and he's so skilled. So, but I'm gonna go with Robert for this fight, probably in the later rounds, and probably maybe by decision.
And I have to ask you as well about the champion in your division, because it feels like everybody has an opinion on Dricus Du Plessis. Some people say he's great. Some people say they can't believe how he's a defending world champion and how he defeated Israel Adesanya last time out. Where do you stand on Dricus Du Plessis? Because as I mentioned, a lot of people have a lot of opinions about the middleweight champion.
No, for sure. And also, I've trained with him a couple times back in Florida. And he's such a good guy, strong guy, and just the way he makes things works. It shows that everything is possible. He climbed the rankings so good. Like every time he took all the fights, and he performed, he showed up. So I feel like he's awkward, but he's so strong. He's big, and he's always like willing to fight. So that's kind of type of mentality and spirit and heart that you need to be a champion. So well deserved for him, and I hope he's gonna defend his title multiple times. And he's a good guy.
Turning the conversation back to you, I feel like every fighter at the top level kind of has their one thing that they do almost better than anybody, but certainly better than the rest of their division. When you look at your skill set, what do you feel like is your unique selling point, if you will? What is the one thing that Marc-Andre Barriault does better than anybody else at 185?
I feel like there's not a lot of guys like who can do the kind of how can I say, the kind of like pressure or damage on the clinch, like almost like hockey style. When I get the first bite and I'm comfortable, I don't think, I just let everything goes, and I can like generate power from very close range, and mix with my elbows, my kind of a Muay Thai, but very close, dirty game boxing. Just be dirty, be heavy with my head, and just pressure. But yeah, I need to be aware also that there's takedown. People are so good at reversal, so yeah, just make sure that I can control all the aspects, but make sure that I can apply my own game of a pressure fighter, smart, and yeah.
Well, for one final question, you can be as brief or detailed as you like with this one. But give me a walkthrough of the perfect fight day as you envisage it. So when you visualize fight day from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, give me a walkthrough of how that day works out in a perfect world.
Yeah, so I'm not very stressed on fight day. I always have my team with me. I like to wake up, just remind myself that, okay, today is the day, and tonight's gonna be the night. So I need to make sure that I'm on point. I'm game on. So yeah, I try to like make sure that I'm in a good spiritual place in my head. I trust all my skills. I know that I did everything that I have to do. So yeah, throughout the day, I like to move, relax. Don't stress and think too much about what's gonna happen, later tonight, and make sure that the more we get close to the fight, the more I'm getting like light up. Like I need to light the flame inside of me, and make sure that when it's time for the power bar to be like at the top of his power, and just like go there, empty the gas tank, make sure that I'm the one who's gonna pressure forward, get the W, come back to my room with my team, celebrate a little bit, go back to the sleep, and come back home and enjoy with my wife and my dogs. And yeah, that's the plan.
I love it. Well, Marc-Andre, thank you so much for your time today. It was great to catch up for the first time, and I hope that we can do this again soon. Have a great and safe rest of camp, and best of luck for the next fight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.